just had a bit of a clean up of this. I used some carbon air intake cleaner. It's good stuff, that cleans a lot of stuff. And I've managed to get this Moonraker a bit cleaner than what it was. This is the only one that, out of all of those ones that I got in that little sort of bundle, that I know that works. It's the only one I've managed to be able to test. I haven't got a power cable for the other ones, or a mic. I can always rig up a power cable, it's not a problem. But I haven't got a mic that works for the other ones. So this is what we've got. It's a lot cleaner than it was. It was all dusty before, had stuff stuck to it. Now it's a lot cleaner. It's got a nice microphone holder on the side there. I think I might try and mount this somewhere. Don't know if I'm going to have this one in here, because my plan is to have one in the garage, you see. When I eventually get round to making this bracket, I've ordered some cutting discs for this grinder, because as you would have seen, that I ran out of cutting discs, because this little one that I got from SGS I thought was going to be man enough, but it ain't. It's rubbish. It's obviously not meant for this kind of steel. In fact, it wouldn't even touch the surface, would it? You saw in that other video, it didn't even touch the surface of that. So it ain't how thick the steel is, it's the fact that, well, it just wouldn't even touch it. I don't understand what's going on there. And it was at full pressure. But I've ordered some cutting discs, they'll be coming soon. Then I can make up this bracket and I can put this antenna up. This is the antenna, it's a silver rod. The guy that gave me this lives down the road from me, old Matt there. And he's got another one, but I kept meaning to go and pick it up, but I never got around to picking it up. I was supposed to be helping him with his antenna, fixing his antenna, but I never got around to it. I just didn't have enough time on it, anything like that. So I have to go and help him out at some point. But we've got some U-bolts there, U-brackets that are already on this one. So all I've got to do is I've got the poles ready to, I can just weld them together. All I'm going to do is weld these poles together. This is like an old fence, an old gate. I'm going to weld 2 or 3 of them together like I did with these. These are 2 scaffold poles. You can just about see the weld there where I welded them together. So all I'm going to do is do the same again with these ones, weld them together. See the old iMax swaying in the wind up there. See the top of it swaying around, it likes to sway. That's going to need some maintenance fairly soon. I've still got this hanging around. I think what I'm going to do is put it all in the bin. I've had enough of it. Yeah, that's that. So no one wants to buy it. I put it on the internet, no one wants it, so that's going in the bin. I've had enough. If it was a Kirby or something worthwhile, it wouldn't be going in the bin, I'd be keeping it. But because it's a Dyson and I've had enough of them, see you later. Here we go then, cabbage. I've got this, these pipes, not pipes, poles, whatever you want to call them. They used to be an old gate, but I cut it up. So I'm gonna grind off all these little notches where the old gate rails used to sit along here. See where I cut them all off. So I'm gonna grind all of those off. Then I'm just gonna weld it together. I've got the old welder booted up over there, vibrating away. So we'll do that. I think I'll do that now. Yeah. Right. I've got it here. Here it is, all mocked up, ready to rock and roll and jim and jam and whatever you want to call it. I cut a fresh end off. There's one of the ends because it had a hole in it. It would have made it weaker and everything. So I cut a nice fresh end off. Put it all up. It's straight. Went to try and weld it, and guess what? The old welder's playing up again. The old wire feed on it's not feeding again. So every single time I go to use this doesn't work. It's kind of a little bit frustrating, but it's the way it goes. I mean, you can't, what can you do? I mean, that welder's probably a good 20 years old. There's not a lot you can do when something's old and it just keeps breaking and you can't, yeah, that's that. It's just, that is that. It's broken. So I would have had it welded up by now, but I haven't because of that. So now I've got to spend another, I've already spent an hour messing around with it, trying to get it to feed. It feeds, I put it back together, go to weld, it doesn't feed. Go back again, it feeds. Come back, doesn't, I go to weld, doesn't feed. It's crazy. So I'm going to spend another 6 hours trying to get it to work. I will get this welded up eventually. Don't panic, everyone. If you're panicking, just stop panicking, will you? Please. Right, I'm going to have to call it a day here because I've run out of time today. But I've got it welded up. Ordinarily I wouldn't have cleaned it up, I would have just left the weld there. But it was such a terrible weld because this is galvanised pipe or tube, whatever you want to call it. It's galvanised, and I did grind off the area where I was going to be welding because you're not meant to breathe in galvanised. It does some stuff to you, it ain't good. However, when I was welding, when I was doing welding for a job, I never used it. That's why my lungs are fucked, that's why they've had it, because I breathed in too much galvanised. Anyway, that's off topic. I've done all that, but the weld was so bad because it's so thin, and this little welder here, it has trouble when you go down into the low wattage and the low amperage. It has a lot of trouble. It doesn't particularly like it. It doesn't like being on the, it likes to be flat out basically. It don't like messing around. So it wouldn't do the job when it was on, when I had it low, turned down to try and weld it. Now if I had it on the normal amperage, see the thing is with that one, the one I used to have, it had a readout, it tells you how many watts, because MIGs go by wattage and stick welding and TIG go by amps. These go by watts. Some people refer it as amps, but it's only got a dial you can see there with numbers on, and I can't remember what number is what heat, if you know what I mean. So I usually have it on 4 or 5 for ordinary welding, but because I ain't got a clue what 2 and 3 and 1 and all that kind of, I ain't got a clue what that is, so I just was messing around with it, trying to get the right kind of heat. I got the right heat, but the wide speed wasn't, it wouldn't do the right wide speed. Well, anyway, I guess we're going too far into it for now. I got it done, but because I had to do it in like spot welding, that's what you do when you can't get a full bead. You just do it in spots. You do a tack as such, and then you wait for that to stop glowing, and then you do another tack on top of that, and eventually you build along. And you build a bead up for just little tacks basically. It's not perfect for the moment. I'm going to do another one because there's a little bit of a dent there where that was a particular weak spot. So I've ground it all up. But I've run out of time for today, so that's why I'm going to call it a day. But I've got that one there. It goes from there all the way up to there. So that's going to be quite long. I reckon that might be alright. I might not have to put another one on it. To be honest, the less joins the better because I don't want it to fall over. I've still got to grind off the little notches where I cut the rest of the rails off, but we'll be alright. So anyway, that's that for today. At least I've got that done, and then once the cutting discs come in, I can build the rest of the fit, and I can get the rest of this done. This is the spine of it, or whatever you want to call it, the back of it, and then I can get that cut and make up the other arms. Then basically I'm done for that. I've just got to weld it together. I better have it flat out, but I have the welder flat out for this 10mm, have it on 4 or 5 flat out, have a nice weld going along there, be perfect, that will be mint. So once I've done that, then I can have it up and I can put the antenna up. You must always run the gas out of a MIG welder before you leave it for any length of time. There you go, gas has stopped. So all you have to do, turn the wire speed completely off or down, turn the gas off, pull the trigger, gas comes out, no wire comes out, everything's happy. And then you can turn it off. Never leave it pressurised, it's very bad. Oh, by the way, for those that may be interested, I used this little cutter. I used it to cut the little sections off of this tubing, and it did an alright job actually. So what's this? This has got to be, I don't know, a couple mil. It's never going to focus on that. Put the wrong lens on for focusing on things like that really. But anyway, a couple of mil, and it cut it alright, cut it very well. So really, we know that that is really only any good for cutting things that's quite thin. Maybe a couple of 2mm, 2.5mm maximum, that sort of stuff. But it works, so it ain't as bad as what I first said, but it's still not perfect. I thought it was going to be better than what it was, to be honest.